Hello, Legacy Sabers, Marsh here. So today we're going to talk about the general form of a hyperbola and of a parabola. So this is second day of completing the square just with our different conics that we've talked about. You want that conics foldable. This is the final video for that conics foldable. I know, awesome thing, right? We're almost done with conics. But nevertheless, this is round two of completing the square. So you are wanting to be on the identifying conic sections section of your foldable. So go ahead and find that quick. Now, we've seen this last time. So the equation of any conic can be written at ax squared plus bxy plus cy squared plus dx plus ey plus f, right? This is called a second degree equation. Now, ultimately, hyperbolas, when we multiply them out, could look something like this, and a parabola could look something like that. Ultimately, we are going to be using this information to accomplish the task that we're looking at. We need to first be able to identify what kind of conic it is when it's been multiplied out. So we got to look again. Who's squared? Who's not? What about the coefficients? Are they the same sign? Are they different numbers? That kind of information. If I have a hyperbola, there's two things I'm looking for on that hyperbola. I'm looking to see is x and y both have squared terms. And do their coefficients have opposite signs? Because one of them has to be negative in a hyperbola, guys. That's what makes it a hyperbola. So I got a negative here and a positive there, two squareds as well. That is what makes me a hyperbola. Now, if they'd be both positive, then that immediately is me going, oh, that's an ellipse, okay? So hyperbola and ellipse are very, very close to recognizing one another. Parabola, easiest one. Only one variable has a squared term. So like this guy, no squared on the x. That's how you know you have a parabola. So ultimately, that is making it the easiest for us to be able to identify. Parabolas are probably the easiest to identify. So we talked about these steps last time. Group the x's and the y's together. Dogs with the dogs, cats with the cats, right? Send constant numbers to the other side of the equal sign. X and y squareds must be 1. If not, you're going to factor it out. We're going to take the number 4x divided by 2 and square it. Do the same for the number of y. Add these numbers both sides of the equation, and then we're going to factor. Okay? I want to look at number 30 first with you. So first, I'm going to look at this. What kind of conic is this? Well, there's only one a squared guy, right? So immediately I go, parabola, check mark. Okay? So this is definitely a parabola that we're looking at here. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to group the x's with the x's and the y's with the y's. Now, parabolas have a little kind of special thing going on because not everybody is on the same side. So what I will do, since the y does not have a squared term with it, I'm going to kick the y term over to the other side with the number as well. And I'm only going to do this with parabolas that way because I don't have the squared to take care of with that y. So I'm going to go x squared minus x plus blank equals 2y minus 14 plus blank. Okay, so I'm going to kick that 2y to the other side as well because of him not having a friend to be with. Now, let us find blank. Well, I'm going to divide by 1 by 2, and I'm going to square that. Well, 1/2 square, that's a fourth. Marsh, fourth. Okay, so we're going to do a fourth. I'm going to simplify that right-hand side over there. That looks like 2y, negative 13 and 3/4 is probably what that would be, which if I change that into a mixed number, or improper, excuse me, because it is a mixed number currently, I'm going to go 4 times 13. I'm going to add 3 to that. I will get 55/4. So negative 55/4 hanging out over here. Now, let us factor this left-hand side. So I need two things that multiply. Remember, it's always going to be squared, right? Because if it doesn't turn out to be a squared, well, we totally did it wrong. So x times x would give me that x squared. I need two things that multiply to give me a fourth, but add together to give me a 1. That'd be negative 1/2. Remember, it's the guy you squared. Okay, so x minus a half squared equals 2y minus 55/4. Now, parabolas though, guys, right? There's always a number in front of the y minus business. So I'm going to factor out that 2 out of both pieces because I'm factoring it out. So if I factor out 2 out of 55 fourths, that's the same as dividing by 2, which is the same as multiplying by half. So technically, I'm going to factor out, it's going to be 55 eighths. Nevertheless, that's the answer, right? And that, my friends, is a parabola. It is vertex would be 1/2, 55 eighths. Worst graph ever, but nevertheless. Now you're probably thinking, this is going to be what they all going to look like, aren't they? No, this one is a special case parabola, I would say. This is not what you're normally going to be seeing on a problem. This is a hard guy in that regard, quite muscular. Let's take a look at the next problem. So I have negative x squared plus 4y squared minus 2x minus 24y plus 19. So first thing I'm going to look at, well, I got two squared terms, and one of them's negative, one of them's positive. So immediately, hyperbola. Okay, so I know this guy is a hyperbola. So I'm going to group the x's with the x's, y's with the y's, kick the guy to the other side. So I got negative x squared minus 2x plus 4y squared minus 24y. Whoop, my pen decided to have a field day on that 4. Sorry, guys. There's a 4 there. Equals negative 19. Now I'm going to factor out. This guy has a negative in front, a negative 1. So I'm going to factor out that guy because we can't have anything in front. Make room for some blanks. Got to factor out that 4 because we can't have a number in front of the squared when we complete the square. That's going to be negative 6y because I got to factor out that 4. So this is not just negative 19 plus blank because those blanks have other things going on. So it's negative 1 times blank plus 4 times my blank. Okay, so now let's fill in our blanks. So I'm going to divide 2 by 2 and square. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. Square that is 1. So I'll put a 1 over there. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 squared is 9. So I'm going to put that over there. This will factor to be negative 1 x plus 1 squared. And then a 4, y minus 3 squared, it looks like. And that right-hand side, well, that is technically, I'm going to just write up here, negative 19, negative 1 times 1 is negative 1, and plus 36, right? So negative 20 plus 36, that's 16, a positive, it looks like. Now, numbers aren't usually in front, right? So we're going to divide, plus this has got to be a 1. So I'm going to divide by 16 everywhere. And what I'm also going to do, guys, because, you know, the negative guy always came second, right? So I'm going to move the x guy to be the negative guy, so the second guy. So I'm going to put the y first. So that's going to be y minus 3 squared over 4, because 4 over 16. That negative 1, he's just a negative, okay? So I can just put that negative there. X plus 1 squared over 16, because that didn't simplify, equals 1 for my answer there. Okay, so be very careful when you are doing it. Whoever has the negative, that is the guy that gets to come second in our equation. Let's take a look at 35 now. Yes, I'm skipping around. It's because you've done the other problems. So looking at this guy, I have 4x squared minus 25y squared minus 150y minus 125 equals 0. Well, they both are squared and one guy has the different sign. This guy is a cha-ching hyperbola. So now, group the x's with the x's, y's with the y's, but it seems that the x squared is all alone. But that's okay. We're just going to let him kind of sit out there and look cool for a little while. Oops, sorry. My tablet went a little weird there. Put that, and then we'll kick the 125 over here. So this x squared guy, don't have to do anything to him. We're just going to let him hang out there. He's just going to be cool. But we do need to factor out that negative 25 on that y squared area. Ooh, 25, 150. Well, a buck is 4, so 6y plus blank equals 125 plus minus 25y blank. Sometimes I just put plus minus there. I forget that there might be a negative there. It's a common issue with myself. If for some reason, let's say you do that and once you get to the end and it doesn't simplify very nice, it's probably Because you forgot to do the subtraction. I speak from experience, guys. Truly, I speak from experience because I've done it myself. So I'm going to divide this 6 divided by 2, square that. We're going to get 9, just like last time. I'm going to have 4x squared, negative 25. This factors into y minus 3 squared, I believe. 25 times 9. What is that? Well, that'll be 225, negative 225, I believe. Yeah, negative 225, 125. Ooh, Marsh might need a calculator here. Hold on. 125 minus 25 times 9. Boop. Negative 100 is what we're getting over here. So I'm going to divide by negative 100, everybody. Equal opportunity division, guys. Don't skip that division. Now, this is actually going to flip the signs. Do you see how that's going to happen? So the y's are actually going to come first in this problem. I thought the x's were. Dang, nabbit, they flipped it on me. So I'm going to get 1/4 when I simplify. So we're going to get y minus 3 squared. March isn't running out of room. Over 4 minus, because of that negative there, 4 over 100 is 25. So we're going to get x squared over 25 is equal to 1. And the only reason that flip happened is because I had a negative over here. Sad day, right? I thought that the x squared could have came first, but no dice this time. And this is number 36. Y squared plus 12x plus 6y minus 51 equals 0. Now, looking at this problem immediately, there's no double squareds, right? So that means this guy is a parabola. So here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to DIY this problem. Try it. See if you can do it well. If you are able to accomplish the task, I'm going to take a look at it in class. We will take a look, do this problem, so that way you guys can ask me a question or two as you are working, and so that you guys can get started and know what you're doing on this content. Because it is not hard, but it is challenging depending on what the problems are. So, but until then, I will see you later, savers.